Islam, 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 Moorish. Malik Yusuf Bey back with another one. And today, I'm going to go into the books and I'm going to go over the national and divine warning by the prophet, as well as parts of the Constitution to show you how it coincides with what the prophet was saying. But before all that, you know how everything starts, so here we go. Allah is the Father of the universe. Allah is the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector and my guide and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Gerard Lee. Assalamu alaikum. Right. To be proclaimed that every prophet warns all Muslim governors, ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while they work in their homes or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Gerard Lee. Assalamu alaikum. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out a divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting the prophet and the temple. Islam. Alright. To be proclaimed at every meeting. Islam. I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim I was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend on for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all of these things to you long ago in the past. It is through faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and the ones and the uplifting funds, the ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet. I need finance and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world would not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works which I have performed in the past few years. Prophet Noble Gerard Lee. Assalamu alaikum. To the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Islam. This is instruction from your prophet Noble Gerard Lee. Assalamu alaikum. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on, but the weak can comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I, Noble Gerard Lee. Assalamu alaikum. And that is why many hearts have been turned to stone, and many have eyes to see but cannot see, ears to hear but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sins. These are trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid and cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but will sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors, that your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace, your divine prophet, Noble Jura Ali. Assalamu alaikum. Alright, so like I said, today we're going to touch on the divine warning, and I'm going to go over to the American Constitution, well, the North American Constitution, and show you how it coincides, and that it wasn't written by pale-faced hybrid Europeans, but that it was in fact written by these Asiatic Moorish Americans that keep thinking they're black people and keep openly on open platforms denying their bloodline, but keep wondering, asking the same question: how come everybody else get to come over here and get this and get that, and they don't have to deal with this and deal with that? Because they don't give up their birthright. They don't come over here and get rights as yellow people or orange people or blue people or purple people. They come over here as Chinese people, Russian people, Italian people, Nigerian, Sudanese, Egyptian. Those is bloodlines. Those is national names that you can go to that landmass that they're named after. You can't go to a place called black. You can't go to a place called Negro. You can't go to a place called African American. You can't go to a place called India. Not over here, you can't. Over there in Southeast Asia, where these people don't know that that's what the name Indian originates. So when these people keep talking about their Indian, you must be from Southeast Asia, because you can't be from America talking about your Indian, because India is not over here. And India, it was Hindustan, and before that it was Sindhi. But I'm gonna flip the camera as I always do, and this is the book that we're going into, the Moorish literature book, and we're going to a divine warning by the prophet for the nations. So this wasn't just for here, this is for the whole world, and everybody understands it and understood it, but these Asiatics of North America, they keep thinking people are crayon colors. So 1 second. So it starts, it says, the citizens of all free national governments. So when you go to another nation, the people of that nation are considered free. So the citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution. So every nation has a constitution. How come the black people don't have a constitution? Because black is not a nation. There is no national black constitution, because black is not a nation. There is no Negro constitution. There is no Indian constitution. There is no African American constitution, because those are not national names. According to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. This is what these Asiatics of North America can't fathom, that just because you live in a different territory doesn't mean that you're not all of the same family. So when they try to dismiss all of us being Moorish Americans by trying to holler that, oh, I'm Hebrew Israelite, oh, I'm a Muslim, oh, I'm Christian, oh, I'm African American, oh, I'm black, oh, I'm Negro. None of those are national identities. All of them are brands. Most of them religious based. Some of them derogatory misnomers, like Negro and black and colored and African American are misnomers, derogatory misnomers. Derogatory, because it deludes, as the prophet keep telling you, and I'm gonna keep reading. It says those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. Don't that sound like these so-called black people? Don't that sound like everything that they're going through? Classed as undesirables, subject to all inferior names: Negro, black, colored, African American, Indian, Native American, nigger, spick, darky, coon, shine. See what I'm saying? Abuses. Don't these highwaymen, these so-called police, kill these Asiatic people and get away with it? Do they go to jail? Do they get charged? No, they don't. Why? Because by you saying that you are Negro, black, and colored, you have stepped out of the national venue. So there are no rights to protect one who takes on these brands as titles as identities, because they delude to slavery. And it is a sin. Sin is ignorance. And it is ignorance for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to names and principles that delude to slavery. This is the 1920s, and Prophet Noble Drew Ali came. He didn't like, and you get lying, dirty Moors that would tell you, oh, Moor, you can't, you know, son, you can't tell the people they Moors right off the rip. You got to meet them where they at. You got to come. But the Prophet didn't meet us where we was at. He came, what was the first thing that the Prophet said? Come all ye Asiatics and learn about your nationality and divine creed, and know that you are not Negro, black, or colored. Why? Or Ethiopian. Why? Because those was names given by slave masters or slaveholders given to slaves, and it lasted from 1779 to 1865. So by anybody still claiming those names that thinks they're emancipated, because emancipation is not freeing. Emancipation is transferring. So all they did was make slavery a choice at that point. They didn't make it voluntary. They made it involuntary. So so you have a choice. Like Kanye said, though he's a sellout Mason and didn't break down what he said, he just gave you something and caused confusion. That's what these sellout Asiatic Masonic Boule members do. They will give you hints of the truth, but then leave you confused. Only the true, few, and faithful Moors get down to the nitty and gritty, and this is why we're hated. Because we can show the sources, and we have nothing to hide. We don't need to join no secret club. This is why our fezzes are not marked. This is why we don't play the Negro, black, and colored game. This is why we don't play the slave name games like these people, Tommy Smith L. You know what I'm saying? That's you still trying to serve two masters. You see what I'm saying? When we're not supposed to do that. That's not a free national name. They keep trying to cause confusion. But it says, I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful, which is ignorant ways, and go back to that state of mind of their forefathers. What was their state of mind? It wasn't Negro, black, and colored. If the word black don't go past the 1100s, and you're talking about people who was ruling in the 700s, the 500s, 1000 BC, and all this and that, what was their mindset? Who were they? They surely wasn't black people. They wasn't Negroes. They wasn't African Americans. They wasn't people of color. They was called Moors. And until our people accept their bloodline, white, right or wrong, you think anybody else in the world that has people amongst their bloodline that's doing wrong give up their bloodline just because somebody of their bloodline is doing wrong? You got Chinese people that done kill people, but do all Chinese people stop saying they're Chinese because some Chinese person killed somebody? Do the Caucasians stopped being Caucasians because they enslaved people, as people keep thinking, when that is a complete crock of bull. Because when you go through the history, they was the ones enslaved, which is why they have an angry vendetta at these melanated people. They keep thinking they're black people. You don't understand where the anger comes from. It comes from you enslaving them. The slavery was not you. The slavery was them. You was free people. The only way that you became slaves is by clinging to the names and principles that delude to slavery. Negro, black, and colored. Selling your people out. And it says, go back to the state of mind of their forefathers, divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders, not legal abiders, law, land, air, and water, the universal law. All human beings are created equal and free. Human beings. So when you say I'm Negro, black, and color, you just stepped out of your human form. This is why the laws don't apply to you. This is why they had to create a legal system with statutes and codes for people who are stateless, who are non-descendable, and receive their divine rights as citizens. Your divine rights as citizens means the things that y'all keep asking. How these people get to come over here and sit up there? Because they're coming with their divine rights as citizens, their birthright, which is a divine right. You have the right to be a human being. You have the right to be alive. Nobody can take your nationality and call it something else and you accept it. Once you accept it, you just fell into the trap. That's like, again, I'll give this analysis again. That's like a man calling a woman a bitch, and she no longer identifies by who she is as a being. She starts calling herself a bitch for everything. That's not who she is. She's not the bitch. She's a human being. She has a name. She has a bloodline. You see what I'm saying? So when you let people deprive you of that, and you yourself deprive yourself of that, what do you think is going to happen? All misuses, mistreatments, and abusements. You're classed as undesirables. Nobody wants to deal with you. You get the lowest of everything. They are to claim their own free national name, which is your nationality. National comes from nationality. So when you say nation or nationality or free national name, you're talking about a nation. Again, where is the black nation? Where is that landmass that's called black or Negro or colored? I have yet to see it on any map, ancient or modern. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth. And it comes through the connection of the Moorish divine and national movement. Why? Because your Moorish nationality is divine, because it's God-given, and it's your nationality. So it's a nation. The movement was you recognizing that your bloodline has been slighted and denied from you for all of this time, still to this day, 2026. And our people have the right to reclaim it and restore their rights as human beings and restore the land. But the land can't be restored if the people who are from the land won't claim the titles that belongs to the land. You're letting somebody else come in and possess the things that belong to you, and you think you can't get it back unless you got to use brute force. No, you don't. All you got to do is use your mind. Shout out to the master teacher Taj Tariq Bey. Don't get mad, get wise. Don't stay stupid, be smart. Don't stay in sin. Don't be ignorant. Wisen up. How can you be woke still using the brands and terms that was used to be placed on you that alludes to slavery? If something is placed on you that that designates you to something and you keep using it, especially if it designates to something of slavery or something derogatory, and you keep using it as an identity, how do you think the world is going to look at you? How do you think that everybody in the world is going to view you as a human being if you keep using things that don't apply to you and keep trying to make them apply to you, and then keep trying to make the world respect you as such? They're not going to respect you as such. They're going to look at you like you're absolutely crazy, because they're looking at the things that you call yourself. And then they looking at our people get on these platforms and talk all of this crap about the master this and the European this and the Caucasian this and this and this and that. But when are you going to stop blaming them and wake up and separate yourself from that? And the only way you can separate yourself is going back to the mind state of your foremothers and forefathers, which is Moorish American. They was not black people. Think I'm lying? Go check the records. So it's saying, I'm gonna jump a little bit further, because this is a lengthy document that the prophet had laid out, but I'm trying to get to the point. So it says, you who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those that know law in the city hall amongst the officials in your government. Did he say go to the pastor, the priest? But they keep associating the prophet with only religion, when he's telling you we were about civics. This is nationalism. This has nothing to do with religion. Last broadcast, didn't I read to you the Moorish Zodiac, where it said in the Moorish Zodiac, there is no room in the science of masonry, which is Moorish science, which is life science, for mystic God worship and religious worship. This is not religion. This is civics, because you're dealing with civilization. You're dealing with citizenship. You're dealing with birthright theft. You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those that know law in the city hall and amongst the officials in your government, and ask them under an intelligent tone. Intelligent tone means not just going in there and speaking calmly, but using lawful words. When you go in there under that, because the three issues at law was status, jurisdiction, subject matter. When you go under there under that status is Negro, black, and colored, this is why nothing gets done, because you automatically voided out the subject matter by placing a status which alludes to slavery on a public record or a public venue. And they will be glad to render you a favorable reply. Go ask most of these Moors, even the dirty Moors, and ask them to show you. They ain't even got to show you, tell you. All you got to do, since y'all like looking at YouTube and all this, go look at YouTube of Moors dealing in court and Moors dealing with these highwaymen, and look at their different approach to how they deal with more people who call themselves Moorish Americans than these people that call themselves black. The jurisdiction change, the venue change. Yes, you're going to get resistance and pushback, because for one, the majority of the Moorish Americans are running around thinking they're black people. Like the prophet said, where there's strength in numbers, things can get done. Together we stand, divided we fall. And they keep talking about, oh, we just need to come together as a people. But you can't come together as a people if you won't claim what the people are. When they said stop the Asian hate, stop the keyword Asian hate. Not yellow people, not orange people, Asian people. Stop the Asian hate. When those Mexicans and all of these people fighting for their rights against ICE? Was ICE picking up yellow or brown or orange people, or was they picking up Mexicans and Guatemalans and Nicaraguans and El Salvadorians? Those are national names. That is not a crayon color. And then when we keep showing y'all in the law book that the name color means a simulacrum, distinguished from that which is real. It's a fake and false appearance. So when you keep saying you're Negro, black and colored, and an Indian, and I'm African American, you just told the world that you're a fake being, and you keep getting mad at the world for treating you as such, and you keep getting everything fake. That's the illusion. You're working a job which you're not supposed to be working, but you think because they give you fiat and you can spend it on certain trinkets which have no value. This is why go buy something and then go try to resell it and see, do you get the same value that you just bought it for? You can even buy it and not even wear it and go try to resell it and still not get the same value that you just purchased it for. Why? Because you just paid for it with something that holds no value. That paper dollar, that paper fiat currency is not currency. It's not dollar. It's not money. A dollar, go look at any law book. Again, I'm going to show you right here. Since we're talking law, because it's going to the point of what I've been saying this whole time. Article 1 of the Constitution, North American continent. And this is the organic constitution, not the state constitution, the national constitution. So we going into section 10, article 1, section 10. No state shall enter into any treaty. Why? Because they are already in the treaty with who? The nation who recognized them. Go listen to your presidents tell you what was the first nation to recognize them. The people that we keep telling you that we are. Morocco. And then go look, if you think it's Morocco over there, go look when that Morocco over there was established. April the 7th, 1956. If they was discovered in 1777 by Moroccans, and that Morocco that y'all call Morocco today wasn't discovered till April 7th, 1956, which Moroccans are they talking about? Where are they stationed at? Are they is the United States Corporation stationed over there in that Morocco over there? No, it isn't. It's stationed over here in the landmass where the people recognize that corporation, which is the United States, that Moroccan, that treaty we keep showing you. That's us. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, or grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit. So when you get all of these bills in the mail and stuff, and then when you swiping these credit cards, when they're telling you you got low credit, you got high, all of it is fraud. They're telling you right here in the Constitution they're not even supposed to be doing it. It's fraud. They're committing treason. Make anything, pay attention to this line right here, because this is for all the people that keep thinking this paper is money. Make anything but gold and silver coin a tender and payment of debts. So when you think you're paying bills, when you think you're paying something off with that paper, know that it holds no value. Why? Because they're telling you what the real money is. What is the real money for all tender of payment of debts? Gold and silver coin. Gold and silver coin. And then go read the law book and go look what real money is. In its true technical sense, money is considered gold and silver coinage. This is why during the prophets' time, they wasn't using fiat. They used the certificates, but they didn't use fiat. They use gold and silver coins. This is why the Federal Reserve was set up the same year the prophet founded the old Canaanite temple. He saw it coming. This is prophecy being fulfilled. Everything that he did, they tried to counter. The government was shut down. They was declared sine die since 1861 when they killed Lincoln. That's what the whole murdering of Lincoln was about. That was what the whole emancipation was about. Them transferring slavery to a business, and they needed a business to run it under, which is called now the United States Corporation. You know, that corporation of human trafficking. That's why the IRS, their biggest service to their corporation, runs everything. And what do you think the Internal Revenue Service acronym stands for really? The Inquisition Revenue Service. And if you don't know what the Inquisition is, I suggest you go Google the Spanish Inquisition of 1493. You can also go on the Moorish website called RV Bay Publications and look at the thing, go down the tabs and look at the Forgotten Strolls, or go under the tab of what to study and look at all of these things that is right there in your face in the record that is not hidden. They don't hide it from the people. They just know the dummies are not going to read because they care about sports, sex, and fucking things that hold no value. You give a person today a gold coin, they dumbass will go trade it for fiat, thinking that they done got rich when you just traded your riches for something that holds no value. Again, go purchase something with that paper dollar and go try to resell it and see, does it hold the same value even without you wearing it? Go buy it and then try to resell it and see how much you get for it. It doesn't hold the same value because you didn't purchase it with gold or silver. This is why land as well, go into the law book, go look up the definition of land. Land cannot be bought or sold. This is why every human being on the planet Earth is named after, directly after land that they come from, that their foremothers and forefathers originate from. They're Mexicans because they come from Mexico. That's ancient. That's ancestry. That's heritage. That's nationalism. But when you keep saying I'm Negro, black, and colored, there's no Negro, black, and colored land. There's no Negro, black, and colored flag. There's no Negro, black, and colored constitution. But there's a Mexican constitution. There's an Asian constitution. There's a Chinese, there's a Russian, there's an Italian constitution. There's a Zimbabwe constitution, a Nigerian, a Liberian, Sudanese, Egyptian. All of them have constitution and they have national flags. When you go to the UN, don't you see those national flags? Why is no black flag up there? Why is no Negro flag or person of color flag up there, or African American flag up there? And then when you hold the Indian flag up, that's India. That's Southeast Asia. That's Hindustan. Are you from there? But you keep designating it here. This is America. But America is a continent that consists of many nations, just like Africa, that consists of many nations, which Africa is not even Africa, it's Alkebulan. That consists of many nations: Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Liberia, Sudanese, Morocco, Algeria, Tunis, Tripoli, all of these different places. But then you get over here to America, y'all act like it's one landmass when it is a continent too. That consists of many landmass: Peru, Bolivia, Mexico, Nicaragua, El Salvador, all the Caribbean islands, Cuba, Hawaii, which is Polynesia, Cuba, which is Isabella, Jamaica, which is Yamaisha. All of these places are a part of America. Yeah, all of the islands are a part of America. Don't let these people lie to you and tell you that they're separate. They all are American. All of these islanders, their true bloodline that is of the Moorish Empire, go look it up. They're Arawak and Tianos. Go look up who the Tiano and Arawak people were. I bet you they'll tell you they're from the Moorish Empire. These people will keep lying and keep pushing these agendas because they're paid that fiat. And they keep thinking because they're able to purchase things that before us that you think it holds value. So you want to be like that, but they're not telling you that it holds no value. If these people hate our people so much, why you think they would let these Negroes get in there into all playing sports and being in music and being in all of this stuff and live that type of life and have these type of trinkets that they got if it holds no value? But then they'll show you that they hold gold and silver. When they raided the Vatican last year or 2 years ago, what did they take up out of there? Did they take a bunch of paper fiat, or did they take all that gold up out of there? When you go to the U.S. Treasury Department, what do they hold up in there? Do they hold Treasury Department now? Are they holding fiat in there, or are they holding the gold and silver? When they did the national gold standard back in 1933, when they started issuing this fiat to the people, what did they take from the people? What did they force the people to give up, or they was going to do, say they was going to do jail time? Was it fiat? Was it more fiat, or was it gold and silver coinage? It was gold and silver coinage and the allodial titles, which is freehold titles, not deed, not mortgages and deeds. Mortgages are dead pledges. Deeds is feudal. That means somebody else holding and have to give it to you. And it comes with special privileges that can be taken away. Motions. But when you say allodial, that can't be taken. That comes with freehold. That comes with heritage. That comes with birthright. Something you're born with. Then our people will say that, well, they came over here and took over our land. So what is our land called? Because it's not called black. It's not called Negro. It's not called Africa America. It's not called colored. So what is it called? Because they keep clinging to these names like they're national identities. And like I said, everybody else I just named, they come from a nation called that name that they're called. Mexicans because they come from Mexico. Chinese because they come from China. So what makes you black when you don't come from a place called black? And it's not your skin color, because my skin is not the same color as this phone. This phone is black, but my skin is not. My skin is not that. And black don't come in different shades. Black is that. Black is that. And then when you look up black, it tell you it means pale. That's why when you look at the reflection of black, you see a reflection of pale light. It absorbs all light. Who is the people on this planet that don't have melanin in their body? Who is the people that don't have melanin in their body? That is black. Look up its true definition. And look up who the people who don't, absolutely void of color. If something is absolutely void of color and you keep saying we're people of color, how are you black? See, this is the confusion. Because people keep saying things that don't without qualifying them. They won't analyze them. They won't look them up. They'll just get up here and keep running their mouth. But then when Moors get up here and show and prove what we're saying in real time, people got a problem with it. Like we're the idiots. When we have woken up, and we can go have talks with anybody around the world and they bow down to us because they know exactly what we're saying. And then you can go look at videos of other national beings saying these same things that Moors are saying when it comes to law, definitions and things of that nature. All you got to do is go look in the law book. But they won't go read it. But they got so much arrogance and ego. Oh, nah, you know, we can call ourselves wherever we want. So how come you can't do whatever you want if you can call yourself wherever you want? How come nobody else in the world calls themselves whatever they want? How come everybody else call themselves by wherever they come from? Because they know that's how things get done. No matter where they go, they could go to a whole nother landmass and still set up as if they was at home. Why? Because they're taking their birthrights with them. That's nationalism. That's where the international and national venues come from to protect people of such. This legal system came from people who can't identify as such. This is why you get the lowest of treatment. I'm going to read another part that's going into that Constitution, which shows what our prophet was talking about. And he says, for they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness into light. You think the prophet, go read the newspapers, how the prophet was sitting next to political figures, how he went to the Pan American Conference and got the mandate back for our land and put it into the trust before these sellouts killed him. 1 year to the day before they killed him, he reestablished the nation for us, put it into the trust, but they can't be activated until these dummies stop being dumb. He's telling you right here, money doesn't make the man. It is free national standards and power that make a man and nation. The wealth of all national governments. Again, in his time, as I just told you, they wasn't dealing with fiat. What he saying? Gold and silver and commerce, which is business, all commercial activity, all national governments, gold and silver and commerce belong to the citizens alone. And without your national citizenship by name and principles, you have no true wealth. Didn't I just read that in this same Constitution that said what the real money is for the payments of debts? So if you're not paying anything off with gold or silver, what makes you think that you're out of debt? You see what I'm saying? And you wonder why the bills keep coming over and 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 over. Because you're recycling something that holds no value. Everybody knew this. Everybody knew what the real wealth is. But everybody know what's plaguing our people from receiving this real wealth. Their citizenship by name and principle. The name is Moorish Americans. Our principles is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, nationality, and divine creed. That's where you get the 7 from. And it says, that is why I am calling on all true citizens. Hold on. Excuse me. All true citizens that stand for a free national government and the enforcement of the Constitution. Why is he talking about the Constitution if he's religious? If this is all so-called religion, why is he talking about nations and constitutions and governments and laws? Because this is not religious. Again, go back, read the Moorish Zodiac Constitution. It's not dealing with religion. This is dealing with law. Our people been bamboozled, and you've been bamboozled the most by your own. To help me in my great missionary work, the missionary work is what I'm doing right now. Coming out here, waking our people back up, trying to get them back to the national principles and standards that we are supposed to be in. Because I need all support from all true American citizens. Did he say United States citizens? No, because there is no such thing. American citizens. Citizenship of every nation in America. Of the United States of America. Dealing with the corporation. Because the corporation is the business that we originally had, that we passed down. That's why you have to go read the Articles of Association and the Articles of Confederation. You know that picture that everybody keep posting? When they keep posting that so-called black man, the first black president, John Henson. No, he was a Moor. He was a Moor. John Henson Bay was a Moor. Benjamin Banneker Bay was a Moor. He didn't just design clocks. He didn't just design Washington. They all designed the government. He came up with the branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. He passed the keys down to Georgie Boy. That's why we keep showing y'all the records. George Washington letters to the Sultan of Morocco. Go read it. Documents of American history. That's the source. Or you can go R.V. Bay Publications. Google. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of government. Did he say fall from the grace of God? No, he said falling from the constitutional laws of government. Again, this is dealing with law. Again, this is dealing with civics, not religion. I am dependent on your support to get them back into the constitutional fold again. How do you get back into the constitutional fold? Again, how do you get back those things that was taken from you? By reclaiming the things that which you are denied of, your nationality and birthrights. Your nationality and birthrights is not this Negro, black, and colored. If that was, otherwise you would have been regave the reparation that is owed to us. You're not getting it back because you won't reclaim what is meant to be reclaimed. And a few of us that have reclaimed it can't get it into the whole nation, or majority of the nation reclaim it and put it on every venue. We keep getting pushback that they will learn to love instead of hate. And that's the principles. That's the national principles. That's the principles he talking about. The national name and principles. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You have to learn to love instead of hate. Our people hate themselves when they take on these derogatory terms. That's why they hate each other. That's why they have yet to come together. And will live according to what? There's those principles. Love. First principle, love. Truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Supporting our, keyword, our free national constitution of the United States of America. Letting you know that it wasn't no pale hybrid Europeans that wrote that document right here called the Constitution. These Moorish people, if these Europeans was illiterate, and you could go look it up, but they only want to give you that account of Europe and Spain. If the Moors, who was these dark-skinned, melanated people who had reign over the world, over the 7 seas, feeding the whole world, they're telling you that they taught these people how to bathe, that they taught these people how to read and write. Who was writing all this literature and stuff then? Who was writing all the languages? Us. These people that they keep trying to deny their birthright. And you can't understand why they won't try to connect you back to that birthright again. And then our people that keep saying the same thing. They keep fearing if we ever wake up. What is the awakening? The awakening is this. This is the awakening. Because how can you be awake still using the same things what put you to sleep? Negro, black, and colored. Those things was placed on you to delude you to slavery. So in law, still to this day, you're a slavery. That's why Kanye says slavery is a choice, because you have the choice not to call yourself Negro, black, and colored. Again, going to the names, national names. If Italians, is that a color or is that a people? If Italians, they come from Italy. That's a national place, right? Is that a color or is that a people? If Greeks, they come from Greece. Is that a color or is that a people? If English from England, that's the place. That's not a color. Chinese from China. Japanese from Japan. Turks from Turkey. Arabians from Arabia. Those are places. Those are not colors. Those are people with national names that come from a national place that can be found on a national map. Negro, black, and color can never be found on the map, ancient or modern. Are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America. It is no more than right than the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. So again, that answers that question of how these people get to come over here. All of these people that he named get to come over here. Don't they, all these people have shops over here? Don't all these people have restaurants over here? Don't all these people own clothing stores and everything else over here? Why? Because they come as these. They don't come as orange, yellow, blue, purple, red. They come over here as their free national name with the birthright. They honor thy mother and thy father, so their days may be lengthened upon the earth land, which thy father God Allah has given thee. So if we're the original people, as these people keep saying, you know, black people are the original people. If these melanated people was the original people, and you're honoring your mother and father so that your days may be lengthened upon the earth land, people named after the land that they come from, how come you won't name yourself after the land you come from? So your days would be lengthened. Now you wonder why you're subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that these other citizens care to bestow upon our people? Why? Because they clue to the names and principles that delude to slavery. They want to be crayon colors and four-legged animals. See what I'm saying? So that's part of what the prophet was saying with a divine plea. And I'm going to go into the Constitution to show more of what he was talking about. So we're going to go into Article 3, Section 2. This is law. Constitution. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law of equity arising under this Constitution in their authority, to all cases infecting ambassadors, other public ministers, consuls, to all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction. This is dealing with the water. To controversies to which the United States shall be a party, to controversies between two or more states, between a state and citizens of another state, between citizens of different states, and between a state or citizens thereof and foreign states, citizens I skipped the line. Between citizens of the same state claiming lands under grants under different states. That's what they're dealing with when they're dealing with Moors. We're dealing with these people that's claiming to be a state, which we know that it's a corporation. So in their mind, we're dealing with their corporate state. We're dealing with a different state because we come from the nation of Morocco that's in a treaty with them claiming land under grants. The grant is we were granted the right by birthright, our right to our land and heritage. In all cases infecting ambassadors, which we are personally, each and every one of these people that are called black people, in your truest form as a Moorish American, you are an ambassador to this land, which is why they don't want you knowing your nationality. Other public ministers and consuls, which we all are. That's where we get the titles of grand sheiks and sheikis and all of these titles. And those in which a state shall be a party, Supreme Court shall have the original jurisdiction. So what's up with all of these other courts? What's up with all of these other courts? Hold on, let me find the other page. What's up with all of these other courts? Traffic court and criminal courts, because they had to come up with a system for people who are stateless. Hold on. Going through the papers, making sure I find the right one. Damn it. The wind picking up. Alright, here we go. Jurisdiction. In all other cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction. That means downright direct jurisdiction. There is no other jurisdiction when you're dealing with national beings. This is why when you go to court, you don't see all these other national beings in court. You see Caucasians that call themselves white people, and you see Asiatics that call themselves black people, and you see Mexicans and people of the Latin community who don't know the law. That's the only reason that most of these Latin people are being handled the way that they're being handled, because they don't know the law themselves. They have to be taught law themselves. But what protects them? National beings, national venues. This is why they don't still go through the same things that we do, both as law and fact. So the Supreme Court shall have appellate direct, which means supreme jurisdiction both to law and fact, with such cases and under such regulations as the Congress shall make. The trials of all crimes, except in cases of impeachment, shall be by jury, and such trial shall be held in the state where the said crime shall have been committed. But when not committed within any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. So when Moors are telling you we're not going into these venues, this is why we write the paperwork to proceed us from even going into these venues, because we know these venues are colored. Think I'm lying? Go read any law book. Color of authority, color of office. Why do they come up with these terms? Because it is fake law. Color means fake. It means hidden. It means concealed. It is not the real thing. So they had to create a colored system to deal with people of color, fraudulent people. We're going to jump down into section 4. And it's for all my so-called Democrat people. We don't live in a democracy. America has always been a republic. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God. You see what I'm saying? No democracy. Go read this Constitution. No word of democracy is not mentioned in here, not one time. Because this is the dealing with freehold. The United States shall grant to every state in this union a what? Republican form of government. So where did all this democracy come from? In the 30s. In 1913, when they started creating the Federal Reserve, trying to counter the prophet, when he set up the old Canaanite temple in 1913. Why did he set it up? To restore our birthrights, because he saw all of this coming. How come all of these other sellouts didn't do it back then? They telling you the Nation of Islam and all these started in the 30s. But the prophet started in 1913, the same year that they started to start the Federal Reserve and trying to turn the government around and sell it to these banksters. They're part of the government, which is the corporation. They sold the corporation to banksters, not the people. But the people claiming the titles and the derogatory misnomers that that corporation came up with to designate them automatically, directly puts them in the line of those banksters. This is what cuts those banksters off from the people, is them reclaiming their birthright. This is why they don't want you to know your birthright, because again, when they talk about the national debt, all payments of debt is through what? Gold and silver coins. So once you start claiming your national name, all this so-called national debt that they claim you have, these bills and everything that you pay every month, that we all pay every month, will go away, because now we're dealing with organic. Now we're dealing with gold and silver. The fraud goes away. telling you, Republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislative or of the executive when the legislative cannot be convened against domestic violence. That's what you're suffering, what the prophet said. Mistreatments and abuses and inferior names. See, he was telling you this way back then. And that's what our people, they still don't think he's the prophet. When we showing you the records from their side too, the House Joint Resolution 0930 that I read on previous documents, where they're saying the same thing that the prophet wrote in chapter 47, when they're telling you our bloodline and our heritage here to North America, that this is our land. And they calling him the prophet. They don't say the so-called or the self-proclaimed. They say the prophet because they know he's the prophet, just like the Moors who are waking up, just like the sellouts do too. Don't let them trick you and make you think that they don't know. Your Eric Muhammad's and all these sellouts of the Nation of Islam, these bald-headed liars, as Gina said, bald-headed lie. You see what I'm saying? These people are sellouts and they gonna keep selling you out. All you got to do yourself is stop listening to the people and stop listening to us. Like the prophet said, man knows not by being told. Once it's showed, you yourself got to go show yourself. The sources is there. And if you have trouble, like, man, I don't know where to go to look this up, all you got to do is ask Moors. Hey, you said go look this up, and see, we're not so biased that we're just going to give you more sources. This is why we're showing you all these different records from everywhere. Library of Congress. Google things. Since people like to Google the records that we're talking about, you will see exactly what we're talking about. Again, go Google the Spanish Inquisition. Go Google the Doctrine of Discovery. Go Google the Buck Act. Go Google the Secret Treaty of Verona. Go Google Ramon's Pontifex. Go Google all of these things. Go Google the Federal Reserve. Go Google the General Education Board and read the philosophy page and understand why they said they wanted a nation of workers and not thinkers. Because when you know better, you do better. And it starts with you using your mind. Before I close out, I'm going to go into the book and get some of the divinity to the people. But it all coincides. This is what Yehoshua was trying to teach to the people. This is why the prophet specifically used the lessons of Yehoshua to teach back to the people. And showing you in real time where he was trying to get the people to see. But they won't pay attention. Jesus, this is chapter 7 of the Moorish Holy Quran. Circle 7 Quran. Chapter 7. Jesus teaches the common people, common law, teaches the common people, tells them how to obtain eternal happiness. In silent meditation, Jesus or Yehoshua sat beside a flowing spring. And see, that's symbolic, a flowing spring. What does spring symbolize? Spring symbolizes life, creation, going forward, flowing, motion, ongoing. It was a holy day, which is Friday. Friday is the holy day because it's the first day that man was formed in the flesh, and on the Friday the man departed out of flesh. Didn't God create everything on the 6th day and rested on the 7th? So Friday is the 7th, which Saturday is the Sabbath, the 7th day, the day of rest. That's why it's the weekend. And many people of the servant caste were near the place, and Jesus saw the hard drawn lines of toil on every brow, which is work or stress. In every hand there was no look of joy in any face. Not one of them in all the group could think of anything but toil or work. And Jesus spoke to one and said, "Why are all you so sad? have you no happiness in life? Ain't that what we doing when you dealing with work and all of these bills? Aren't they stressful? Aren't they stressful every month? Paying them no matter how much fiat you got, no matter how many trinkets you got, no matter how big your house is or how little it is, them bills still stress you out the same because they non-stop. And the more stuff that you own, the more bills that you're going to be paying, which is stressful. The man replied, we scarcely know the meaning of that word. We toil to live. We work to live. Ain't that what people say? You got to work to survive. You see what I'm saying? Or hope for nothing else but work. You see what I'm saying? And bless the day we can live. Hold on. Bless the day. Bless the day we can live and hope for nothing else but toil. And bless the day when we can cease our toil and lay down and rest in Buddha's city of the dead. That's resting in peace. When they talking about Buddhism and all that, because Buddha was a Moor himself. All of this is dealing with Islam, because Islam means I am at peace. Salam means peace. So you're saying you're at peace with yourself and everything around you. All religions, which they won't tell you, think I'm lying, go read the Quran. All religions, not this Quran, the other Quran, all religions stem from Islam. That's why Prophet Muhammad, understanding those principles, founded the name Islam as a religion. Because he understood those principles. Because all the other people took the doctrines of Islam and failed. The Torah, that's a part of Islam. The Septuagint, that's a part of Islam. The Gospel, that's a part of Islam. The Book of the Dead, that's a part of Islam. The Dead Sea Scrolls, that's a part of Islam. All of what you call, because the Gospel, the Psalms, the Bible and all of that, David, those prophets and all of them had, those was a part of Islam. Think I'm lying? Why did Yoshua, when he meet the people, you can go check the records, why did Yoshua, when he meet the people, would say Assalamu alaikum? I thought that was designated to Islam only. But he was so-called Hebrew Israelite, or Jewish, as they call it. Yahudi, as we know it to be. And he, in fact, studied Yahudiism, which is another part of Islam. See, the corruption comes from them trying to separate things and designate it only to one people or one place, which caused corruption. That's why back then there was peace on earth, because it didn't matter if you studied the Krishna part of Islam, the Yahudi part of Islam, the Buddhism part of Islam, or Islam itself. They all coincided with each other because it brought you back to a state of peace with yourself and everybody around you. It made you the master of your own fate. That's what Islam means. I, which is I. S, which is self. L, which is law. A, which is am. M, which is master. You are the master of your world. Nobody can control your life but you. But we have allowed other people to control. And don't say you have, because you get up and go to their clock. You get I ain't trying to lose everything. You know, I ain't trying to get fired. You know, I ain't trying. You scared to lose what has no value. And when you stop seeing, so when you start seeing that it holds no value and start seeing the value in yourself, and not just you, because you as an individual can't do it alone. This is how we are supposed to come together as a people, seeing it within ourselves and seeing it within our fellow man, and then using that common ground to restore these divine and national principles, which will restore the land and ultimately restore the earth. So it says, and Jesus' heart was stirred with pity and with love. There's that first principle, love, for these poor toilers. And he said, Toil shall not make a person sad. Man shall be happiest when they toil. Why? Because now you know, by knowing who you are, you're toiling, you're working to a purpose. You're working to a common goal. Because now you know who you are. Now you can't be denied or deprived the things which everybody else get. Now you can go to those venues and forefronts and demand it and command it and not be shut down or beat over the head and get so much pushback. It's always going to be some type of resistance, because you got to think of how long these people been holding your resources. That's like, you got to think about it. If somebody stole something of value from you and they done had it for a couple of months or even a couple of years, and you find out that they got it and you start ranting on them like, yo, this my shit, I'm taking my shit back. You don't think they gonna try to push back? You don't think they just gonna, here you go, yeah, it's yours? They gonna try to lie, deny, they gonna try to play like it was theirs or they got it from somewhere else until you prove that it's yours. You might still have a receipt, or you might have pictures that show, or you might have an engraving on it that has your name or something on it that can clearly prove that it's yours. And then once you do that, nothing can be said. And to the rest of the world, they like, well, he proved that it's his. But the reason why the rest of the world won't aid us in our movements is because these people keep stepping outside the national venue to be Negro, black, and colored. And it says, when hope and love are back of toil, then all life is filled with joy and peace. Islam. And this is heaven. See, we create our own heaven and hells. Do you not know that such a heaven is for you? The man replied, this is what Jesus is saying now. Malik Bey didn't write these words. So don't be looking at it like this something y'all made up. No, it's not. This not nothing that the prophet made up. All he did was brought back what was hidden. The man replied, of heaven we have heard, but when it is so far away and we must live so many lives before we reach that place. And Jesus said, my brother man. Did he say my son, my child, my servant? No. So all these people that, my Lord Jesus, that's your brother man. He was just like one of us, doing the same thing that the rest of these Moors doing. Trying to get our people to understand who they are as the people. And control your own fate. Be I self-law and master. Your thoughts are wrong. Your heaven is not far away. And it is not a place of mitts and bounds. It is not a country to be reached. It is a state of mind. See what I'm saying? You create your own heaven and hell. Don't people say when they going through a stressful thing, man, I'm going through hell. That's a state of mind, right? So why heaven can't be a state of mind then? See what I'm saying? You letting people confuse you. People will say sayings and then when it applies, they don't want it to apply no more. That's funny. Allah never made a heaven for man. He never made a hell. We are creators and we make our own. You damn sure do. We created hell for our people by claiming things that brought hell into our life. Negro, black, and colored. So we get animalistic nature. Now cease to seek for heaven in the sky. Just open up the windows of your hearts. And like a flood of light, the truth, the light bulb clicking on, a heaven will come and bring you boundless joy. Then the toil will be no cruel task because you will be working for a purpose. Come and bring, hold on. The people, hold up. This wind keep blowing, my fault. Gotta hold the page. The people were amazed and gathered close to hear this strange young master speak. What was he? Master. I self-law and master. Imploring him to tell them more about the Father God Allah. I already told you what Allah means. Allah means all Ah. Everybody that lives on this earth is Allah. Every breath, from animal, plants to people, to the wind, to the water, everything is Allah. Because it lives. It has a spirit in it. And it's saying, let me hurry up because my phone going dead. And it's saying, and Jesus, hold on. Yeah. And it says, and Jesus spake a parable, or spoke a parable. He said, a certain man possesses a field, which is you, your soul. The soil was hard and poor, which is our life. By constant work, he scarcely could provide food to keep his family from want. Ain't that what we doing every day? One day, a miner, somebody using their mind, a miner could see the poor, could see the poor man in his unfruitful field, enjoying the fruits of your labor. You know that not just below the surface of your barren rich treasures lie concealed. What's the richness? You adding value to your life. How do you add value to your life? By honoring your mother and thy father. What did your mother create? National beings, not crayon colors. You plow and sow and reap in a scanty way. See? Ain't that same thing? And a scanty way is Negro, black, and colored, marching and protesting. And day by day you tread upon a mine of gold and precious stones, which is your nationality and birthright. This wealth lies not upon the rocky soil. Not upon the ground, but if you dig away the rocky soil and delve down deep into the earth, hidden treasures are in my field. And then he dug away the rocky soil, and deep down in the earth he found a mine of gold. See? Don't people say they got a heart of gold? You're supposed to have a mind of gold because it holds value. And Jesus said the sons of men are toiling hard on desert plains, which is here. Desert plains, that's Egypt. That's here in the West. That they can do no aught else. That under the rocky soil of carnal things, of lower self things, Negro, black, and colored things are treasures that no man can count. That's your nationality and birthright. That's why no matter what part of the world they go, they can set up things under their national name. That in thy heart the richest gems abound, that he who wills may open the door and find them all. And the people said, make known to us the way that we may know the wealth that lies within the heart. And Jesus opened up the way. The toiler saw another side of life, and toil became a joy. See what I'm saying? So once our people start realizing their nationality and start claiming that and doing the same things they're doing, all of this work will become easier, because now you will be receiving the wealth which brings value. And the political ramifications will change, where we won't have to work as hard, or have to work as much, or have to do as much and receive as less. You will receive what you're supposed to receive for what you work for, without a third party taking taxes from you. You see what I'm saying? But I'm going to leave it right there. I'll be coming back next week. Matter of fact, no, I'll be coming back Friday, and I'll go into some more books, and I'm going to go into some more records, and we'll just keep touching on things until more and more of our people wake up and they get tired of this Negro, black, and colored slave treatment. But on that note, we're going to end it with the Moorish prayer. Allah is the Father of the universe. Allah is the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, Him my guide, Him my salvation, by night and by day, through His holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Assalamu alaikum. Islam, Islam, Islam. Ameen. Inshallah. Islam, Moors. Study, study, study. Shalom and Habu.